Sonic Spinball is one of the hardest games I've personally ever played, and clearly it's not just me that thinks that, because judging by many comments I've seen about the game here on YouTube, we're all in agreement that this is probably one of the hardest games ever released on the Mega Drive, or if you're American, the Sega Genesis. I put a lot of the difficulty down to the controls, honestly. I mean, look at this. Running at full speed into a standstill jump, it can be pretty disorientating. The first time I ever saw this game was at a market stall, and as a kid that loved Sonic and whose parents said no to buying it for me, I cried for over an hour until I got my own way. What a spoilt brat. And now, somehow I have 2 copies of the game. I have no idea how this happened, but I don't think I cried for the second copy. I'm pretty sure I'd remember that. Anyway, it certainly has a ton of weird and awesome glitches to see, from being able to skip most parts of a level, all the way down to this. So yeah, let's get right on into them. Starting in Toxic Caves, there's a minor glitch that'll let you escape from the first section of the level a little quicker than you'd usually be able to. When you're initially launched onto the table, you'll see that there are 2 pipes leading up to the second area, which are blocked off until you drain the slime from the Chaos Emerald above. If you feel like draining the Chaos Emerald takes too much time, then shoot Sonic through Loop de Force instead, which is one of these tunnels on either side of the room. If you hold diagonally down in the opposite direction to the one that you exit the loop in, you'll bounce back into the loop and get thrown up into the second area without ever having to drain the slime at all. It's either that, or you just get a really lucky, pixel-perfect clip into the edge of the grating like this, and you can do it on both sides as you can see, because somehow I'm so good I managed to hit it twice. It's a nice and easy skip, but unfortunately getting up to the second area is pretty much useless on its own because trying to collect the final emerald without draining the slime will just kill Sonic when he falls down into the tank. I don't know what I was expecting to happen here. I guess I thought that the slime's harmful effects would be removed during the falling cutscene, but no, you still die. You'll be glad to know that that doesn't make this glitch totally useless though, as we can use it to skip all 3 emeralds in the stage and reach the boss early. When you inevitably reach the boss room without collecting all the emeralds, you'll be greeted by a rock blocking the room and a message telling you how many emeralds you have to collect before you can enter. If your plans involve skipping 99% of the level though, you can jump on the edge of the final emerald tank before collecting any emeralds or draining the slime, do a full speed spin dash and bounce off the other end of the tank into the minecart section of the level. On each side of the minecart area there's a solid object in a very precise spot that'll bounce you higher and higher if you manage to land on them. Hitting both of them at just the right angle a few times in a row will bounce you high enough to get into the boss room. The good news here is that even though we haven't collected a single emerald yet, beating the boss will still trigger the end of the level. But the bad news is, despite how easy this video makes it look to get up here, the precision that you need to get bounced up this high is totally ridiculous. The clip that you're seeing here is from the tool-assisted speedrun of the game, so it happens in just 3 bounces. But Zaxxon, who holds the world record for the any percent category in this game, sent me this message explaining how you need 6 frame-perfect inputs to successfully reach the boss if you're not a computer. And his world record actually uses this method, which shows true dedication to the run. If you decide to try this one out for yourself and you miss the solid spot by even a fraction, you can end up getting trapped somewhere behind the background, meaning that you'll have to reset the console, because it really doesn't seem like there's a way to escape once you're down here. I couldn't find one anyway, and I tried for a whole 10 seconds. Oh, and this will only work if you change the speed to fast in the options menu, but without some practice it won't matter what the speed is set to, so I'm gonna leave this one to the professionals. If you don't happen to be a professional, then the chances are you've probably had trouble with this game if you've played it before. You start with 3 lives, which just isn't enough, and the only way to get any more is to score 20 million points, so let's just say you'll only ever have 3 lives in this game. But did you know that there's an almost unlimited lives glitch that'll stop you worrying about dying the entire time that you're playing? Staying in Toxic Caves, play through the level until you reach the second area again, where dropping through the flippers you'll find this handy metal barrel. I'm sure we all know that this barrel can be used as a shortcut to collect the Chaos Emerald that you drained in the first section, just by rowing over to the tank. But what you might not know is that if you use the barrel to row as far as you can to the other edge of the screen, then jump into the slime as close to the barrel as you possibly can, Sonic will lose a life and move off screen before the game repositions him back to the middle of the screen and kills him again. Losing 2 lives like this when you've only got 1 left should give you -1 if my math is right, but the game doesn't understand -1 when it comes to lives, so you'll end up having the maximum possible amount instead, which is 255, all thanks to an underflow glitch. Usually, and if you're lucky, you'll only ever see up to 9 lives on the heads-up display, but this glitch will give you some odd symbols and shapes like full stop lives, comma lives, star lives, and my favourite number, half Robotnik face and other half Robotnik face lives. With 255 lives at your disposal, you might just about have enough to practice all the levels in this game. And trust me, you saw the YouTube comments at the start of this video, you are gonna need them. Even then, I'm afraid that all of those lives aren't gonna help you with the next glitch. Finishing this game is impressive, but do you think you have the skills to beat it twice in a row back to back? Or should I say, do you think you're mentally unstable enough to try it? It's a trick question actually, because even if you think you can, it's literally impossible to do. 255 lives seemed helpful at first, but what a waste of time that was. If you finish the game and then play through it again without turning off the console, you'll get soft-locked when you reach the boss of level 2, Lava Powerhouse. For some totally unknown reason, the hitbox for the boss is invisible and inactive, meaning that you can't damage it whatsoever, which is kind of a problem when you need to defeat him to move on to the next level. Pretty random, and I'm not even sure how the devs could accidentally turn off the hitbox like this, but what a majestic oversight. Speaking of oversights, look at this incredible glitch. Did you catch it? Probably not, because if you blinked then you'll have missed it. In most Sonic games, you'll generally see a trail of dust kick up behind Sonic when he skids to a stop after changing direction suddenly. But if we take a closer look at the clip I've just shown you, then you'll see that if Sonic skids to a stop while moving to the right, everything is fine, but doing it whilst moving to the left causes the dust to kick up from the wrong side. Huge glitch. Unacceptable that the devs left this in here. I cannot believe that this passed the testing process with game breakers like this. And can you believe that there are even more experience ruining glitches like this to see? Back in the second area of Toxic Caves again, you'll find a pipe full of barrels that you need to clear out on each side of the level. Once they're clear, shooting Sonic up there again will propel him to the top, landing you on this trap door. If you enter one of the pipes when they're clear and hold down whilst being pushed up, Sonic won't gain enough height to clear the door, so he'll end up standing on nothing. Cool, right? Give him a second and he'll start to act like what he's doing isn't impressive. If you combine this glitch with the fact that walking collision isn't programmed properly, you'll get to see this amazing effect. Wow! Oh yeah, I didn't mention the walking collision yet. This is actually common through most of the game. Just try pushing on a wall anywhere that you can walk up to it, and you'll often find that Sonic will sort of clip in and out of the wall. As with most 2D Sonic games, you'll find that if you push against a wall, you'll see an animation for it, and that's true for this game too, but only if you're pushing against certain things. I guess that the devs just overlooked some of them in this game, which doesn't seem to be uncommon. First it was the skid dust, now the wall collision. It's a real mess, clearly. In fairness, there really aren't all that many places that you can walk in this game due to the way that the levels are designed, so you might never see this anyway. But still, surely something so simple isn't that hard to miss. The heads-up display in Sonic Spinball will throw out some handy tips every now and then. Like down here where holding Sonic in place on a flipper for a couple of seconds will pan the camera down and show "How about a ride" text at the top of the screen, indicating that you can ride the metal barrel in case you didn't know. But it also does that if you hold Sonic on the flippers at the top of the level as well, which is pointless because the game isn't actually showing you anything up here. There's one other place in the game that you can get a message to show up where it shouldn't too, and that's up at the rocket in the final level of the game. When you hang on the hook right up at the final boss's rocket, you'll get a message telling you how many Chaos Emeralds you need before you can access the room, but hanging on the hook twice after obtaining all the emeralds will tell you that you need 0 more. Okay, this game is absolutely full of pointless minor glitches, but maybe it's time to move on to some glitches that are a little more interesting and helpful. And what's more helpful than another level skip? I'm gonna be honest and say I doubt there's anything more helpful than a level skip in this game, because I know I've already mentioned it, but this game is hard. We've already seen how you can skip most of level 1, but there's a way to totally skip collecting any emeralds in both levels 3 and 4 too. Alright, you've still got to play up to the boss rooms, but that's still a ton easier than having to collect all of the emeralds as well, so don't complain. Once you've collected every emerald in level 3, the machine, you can make your way up the left or right side of the level and find 2 robotic wasps holding up a platform, and destroying the right one gives you access to a piston that fires you up into the boss room. That's if you want to play normally anyway, but finding all of the emeralds in this level is a huge pain even with a walkthrough, so instead make your way up the left side of the level without collecting any emeralds, destroy the wasp on the left first, and then destroy the one on the right by jumping over to it. Once you're set up like this, you'll need to move Sonic so that he's in the exact pixel perfect position that you see here next to the wall on the left, and then do a full speed spin dash to bounce off the platform and into the bendy tube above. When Sonic reaches a specific point just after the middle of the last transparent tube, hold left or right, and with a little luck, you'll see him start to move away from the centre of the cage before being released and bouncing into the boss room. Again, the emeralds don't matter here, so you can just beat the boss to finish the level. And I don't know about you, but knowing about this glitch is a total relief, because being able to skip all of the random searching for emeralds around this one is a total godsend. But I know exactly what you're thinking. Level 4 is the ultimate in hard levels. There's so much going on there that the first time you play it, you are guaranteed to get lost. And that being the case, you'll be glad to know that there's only a little bit of the level you actually need to do to be able to reach the boss, and most of it is just escaping from the first section. As soon as you get thrown onto the table, hit either of the plungers above the flippers a combined total of 4 times to get access to the emerald. Then take the top left path out of that section without collecting it. Use the flippers up here to shoot Sonic all the way up and onto this platform to the left of the rocket, and then jump off and ledge grab to be put in the perfect position to trigger this glitch. When you're all ready and set, do a 2-tap spin dash and hold right immediately after releasing it, and you should end up clipping right through the hatch and into the rocket, where you're free to defeat the final boss for the first time in your entire life. I know, 20 years later and it really was that easy. It took me until last year to complete this game the legitimate way, so I know your struggle. But I'm not here to remind you of the traumatizing times. Instead, let's hit the basic, minor, useless and pointless glitches again before we take a look into the finale, which you are definitely gonna want to see. While we're still in the final boss room without collecting any of the Chaos Emeralds, falling out of the bottom of the rocket here will cause Sonic to grab the handle using the wrong animation. Obviously, you won't be allowed back into the rocket from down here since you don't have enough emeralds, so you'll just have to glitch back in from the left again using the clip we just looked at. Another strange one in this level is in the first area, where you can collect this emerald by hitting the last metal bar with enough force. I never knew you could do this, and I'm pretty sure it's not meant to happen, but it saves some time since you don't have to hit the plunger one more time. While I was trying to get into the machine's boss room earlier, a couple of odd glitches happened. First, I didn't quite get Sonic back to the ledge after destroying the second wasp, so he kinda got stuck glitching on the ledge like this. And second, a weird glitch happened where Sonic clipped through the wall just as I was getting him into the pixel perfect position required for the glitch. This clip seems random, but you'll find it's useful if you're a tool-assisted speedrunner like Flip. He actually uses this to clip through the wall and collect one of the level's Chaos Emeralds in a funky way in his 100% Taz of the game, but after experimenting for myself, I think it's pretty much a Taz-only thing, because I couldn't get it to work. There's also a minor clip in the animal prison where this area's emerald lands. If you do a little jump into the corner of the chamber and then hold up and left as you land, Sonic can glitch right through and back to the starting area. In level 2, Lava Powerhouse, you can find a similar clip to escape the chamber that the emeralds are kept in just by doing a full charge spin dash while stood in the right spot. Jumping back into the second section of Toxic Caves, you can hit a precise point on the floor next to the worm loop that'll let you ledge grab and get through the barrier without removing it first. But this loop can be pretty broken anyway if you're moving fast enough, as you can see from the Taz again. In fact, I swear this game is just glued together with PVA or something, because when I was playing around attempting the ledge grab, this weird glitch popped up out of nowhere where the entire screen got messed up and barrel sprites got stuck on the right when the gameplay went back to normal. It seems I'm not the only one that this has happened to either. Speedrunner Chronoon stumbled across a mini version of it in the machine after trying to jump into this power chamber. Fair to say, he and everyone watching seemed pretty surprised.
What the fuck was that?
Wait, what the fuck was that?
No.
To finish off the pointless glitches, flippers can flip you from underneath if you tap the flipper button whilst you're in the space under a flipper. That is a lot of flippers. This one can come in handy if you're about to fall down into a pit and die, but it's pretty much down to luck because I don't believe that anyone can react fast enough to save them in that situation. Alright, we finally made it. Are you all ready for the finale? You should be, because this is a weird one, but you'll need an action replay to actually be able to trigger them. This game features glitch levels, much like the Minus World that you'll find in the original Super Mario Bros. But there are many glitch worlds in that game, which Kosmic shows off in the video I've linked in the description. And believe me when I say, the glitch worlds in Mario Bros are much more playable than the ones found in Sonic Spinball. Using this action replay code and changing the X's to the value of the level that you want to play, you'll be able to see thousands of levels, but as far as I can tell, none of them that I've found are actually playable. Most of the time you'll see a very glitchy Sonic sprite in the death animation, along with the death music playing over and over again. But there are definitely some more notable ones, like level 50 and level 168, where the music is some crazy hybrid of sound effects and songs in the game that are even creepier than normal, if that's even possible. You'll also find that most of them have random backgrounds, random heads-up displays at the top, and that they tend to softlock your game. A lot. Pokemon Fan 4000 has a great video showing off 252 of these glitch levels, and the comments point out some of the really messed up ones. Whoever had time to sit through an hour and a half of that terrifying death sound should be commended. But not me, because that's the end of today's Glitch Picnic. Thank you all so much for watching until the end, and as always I'd like to throw a huge shout out to this month's Patreon supporters, who this month are Max Wegner, Himdog, Talentless Hack, and Sailor. Thanks so much to you guys, everybody enjoy your holidays, and I will see you all in the next video, which I've already planned, so look forward to that. And don't forget, I love you all. Mwah!